Alrighty then, welcome kids to another episode of The Yard. I am your host, Darryl Scotti, coming to you from the Big Yard Nation here in Cave Creek, Arizona. And today I am so excited to be with session player, horn player, talented musician, Jerry Donato. Jerry, thank you for being here with us today in The Yard.
Glad to be here.
You know, you tracked a few songs for us on this new record, 54th Street Sessions. And it was great working with you, number one. Number two, I want to tell our listeners a little bit about how that whole thing came about. I was introduced to you through one of our collaborators, Chuck Hall, the great Chuck Hall. And we sent you, there was some tracks that our producer, Alex Chacon, and I decided that we wanted to have horns on. And so what we did is we sent you some ideas on couple tracks, if you remember. And then there was a song that came in kind of late, just before you guys were getting ready to record. And we said, we'd really like to have some horns on that. And so you took those parts. Give us a little bit about how you go about writing those parts and how you organize them and how you charted them and then how you guys, walk us through that.
Okay, yeah, it's real important we get a copy of the song. You know, I want to get the flavor of the song, what it is. You know, I want to get the song really internalized. And then it always helps when the artist, you know, has some ideas. So when they say they want horns, they always have a preconceived idea of what they want. So when you play something or sing something to me, that helps because I get the idea of what they're looking for. And then I just try to start off being very melodic. You know, talk to the artist and see what horns they want. Do they want just all saxophones, or do they want sax, trumpet, and trombone? I believe on the session we did a tenor, bari, trumpet, and trombone. And just, you know, start with a melody, what works good, development of the ideas that you sent, and just go from there and start harmonizing it and go onward.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. You know, I mentioned Chuck Hall earlier, and the great Chuck Hall. We had collaborated on a song on the record called "Melody."
Yep.
You know, he plays an incredible slide guitar that our listeners will hopefully have a chance to listen to, and he, of course, said, if you want to put horns on this, call Jerry Donato. So Alex and I had worked with a program, a DAW program. And we put together some horn parts that we were able to show you what we wanted. And we did that on a couple songs, and we're going to talk a little bit about Carefree State of Mind, where you just took that song and listened to it like what you were just talking about and really made the arrangement. And you sent it back to me one night, and then I got the call late. I was with some other people, and I went out and listened to it, and I was like, whoa, man, I mean, you just totally nailed that. But let's talk about melody. So the parts that we had sent you on that record, you took and give us the process of what you did to get ready for that session.
Well, you know, I heard the melody parts that you did, and then also it's important to listen to the other instruments that are playing in there. So sometimes, lack of a better word, I'll steal something that Chuck played, and I'll emphasize that with the horns. Or if the melody, I might change a little bit of the melody that you sang, but maybe this might be a little better, this might fit a little better, it might transition a little better going into the next section of the song.
Wow.
So it's a lot of listening, and just, you know, it's you can hear it sometimes before you write it. You hear something and go, okay, that needs to be this or that.
Well, I'll tell you, you did an incredible job, and particularly on Carefree State of Mind. That you just took it to another level, and again,
Thank
you know, you were a pivotal part in that in the process, and all of these songs coming out. But you got us jazzed, you got us really excited about it. So Jerry, it was great working with you and your other horn player. Of course, well, we don't want to not mention him in this interview, but Greg, and give me his last name.
Greg Verlata.
Verlata,
yep.
Greg Verlata. Greg was incredible. He did a muted trumpet part in Carefree State of Mind that is just...
Yeah, that's a perfect case. Like I heard in the song, you wanted a solo. I think you originally wanted a sax solo, and I don't mind playing it, but when I heard it, it's like, yeah, I think a muted trumpet's going to be what you want there.
Ed Verlata did an incredible job, and what a nice man, and he was such a play. Let's talk about musicianship. How have you grown in your own musicianship? What kind of got you into, performing, learning, teaching, and session work? Walk us through a little bit about that. I'm sure our listeners would love to hear it.
Well, it all comes from, you got to have that love of music. You got to really want to do it, and it's listening to all styles of music. You just don't want to be a guy that plays one particular style. You want to be open. The age-old adage that's been said for years: there's two kinds of music. There's good and bad, and so it doesn't matter what genre it is. You want to hear it, embrace it. And then you always want to bring to especially in recording, or even live performance, you always want to try to make the project sound better or bring what the artist wants. And that's the way you got to approach it, or respect for the music.
Sure.
So,
what inspires you to become a musician?
oh my goodness. I don't know. I was, born and raised in Baltimore. Nobody in my family played music. And, I heard the saxophone one day and I'm like, I want to do that. And that was it, and my parents looked at me like I was crazy. All my friends, you're not going to play baseball anymore? No, I want to play music. And I'd sit in a room and practice, and I loved it. It was just it was from deep within.
Practice, practice, practice.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Before we move to the next question, I want to ask you this. So, what do you enjoy most? Do you enjoy teaching? Do you enjoy live performance? Do you enjoy the session work? Or is it a collection of all three of those?
It's a collection of all three. A million years ago, I went to school. I got my degree in music education, but I just didn't have the constitution to stand in front of a classroom and teach the kids. But I teach like a lot of private lessons. I enjoy the little kids that are just starting out to see, when they put a reed on the mouthpiece and they blow into it and they get that first sound. It's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Live performance is always fun because you get the feedback, hopefully, from the audience, and that,
Sure.
that helps. And then the studio is very technical, and that's a lot of fun too, because you start with a project that's nothing, and all of a sudden you got the finished product. And it's like, that's pretty cool to hear how it comes out. Yeah.
Well, besides the obvious, which is practice, listen, some of the things that you talked about, and you come into the studio very relaxed, very confident, very relaxed, prepared. Everything's charted. You know exactly what you want to do, but yet you seem to be able to, although we didn't do much of this, but you seem to be flexible in terms of some of those charts. What do you think is the most important skill a musician needs to have?
Well, you hit it. You got to be flexible when you do a song, and everybody has an idea of what the song is going to be, and you have to. As an artist, it's hard because if you write a song and then you have a producer, then it's the producer's say as to what they want.
Sure.
So you come in and you write horn charts, and then it's like, here's what I heard, and then you got to be accepting, because it's not a personal attack. You got to be accepting if the producer says, I don't want that part there, I want something different here. Then you got to be able to adjust and go for what it is that the producer wants or the artist wants. And you just can't, necessarily stand your ground saying it's got to be this. No, it's always, you got to be flexible.
Sure.
Because that what you don't know and somebody else's idea might be better in a simple way of putting it. They just might have a better idea than you.
Yeah.
You got to be accepting of that.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about collaboration. And that day, or that you guys came in and did our sessions, you seem to be real comfortable with our producer, Alex Chacon, and Dwayne Woods, who was at the board that day as our engineer, who in his own right is a talented producer as well. And so the team of Dwayne Woods and Alex Chacon seemed to be something that you were really comfortable and you were receptive to. But I think the preparation that you had was probably the thing that impressed me the most. Let's talk about collaboration.
Okay.
We did a lot of that in this record. I'm real happy and proud of this project. I'm humbled by it, and I do feel that I've stood on the shoulders of some giants, and I so appreciate that. Of course, you and Greg being one of them. But let's talk about collaboration.
It's collaboration is really comes down to a lot of mutual respect. You know, you hear the song,
Wow.
you like it, the song's a good song, okay, we can work with this. And then you know the artist, you know, that are playing on it, and you're like, all right, they're all good players, so let's go to work. And it's being respectful of other people's ideas, thoughts, and all that. And if you have like a disagreement or you don't like it's going to a certain play, be able to musically articulate why you think it shouldn't be going to this section or another section, or why it should be a different chord. And it's really important. I know with Alex, it was real good that we could converse on a musical level. You know, he knew where we were in the tune, he knew what's going on, what you get to this section, what chord this is, and how to, you know, that's always important, because it can bog down if you're not talking on a musical level. And it always reminds me of a story. We did a session, and the guys were all from Germany, and they didn't speak a word of English. And you write the horn parts, and he wanted something different, and came to the point we stopped, and he looked at me and I looked at him. We started laughing, and he grabbed me, took me over to the piano, and he said, he pointed to me like, you're doing this, and he played something on the piano, and he went, no, and he said he wanted this. I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
The universal language.
So we could talk to each other. It's like, okay, he wants it this way.
That's great,
but
man.
yeah, but it's when you can converse musically, you know, and show a guy musically what's going on. That's a big thing. And Alex was real good at looking. He's getting all sorts of notoriety here.
Our producer's in the back right now.
He's laughing at us now. That's a good thing.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, we asked this question on all of the episodes that we're doing right now. We call this The Yard, and from the Big Yard Nation. And I think your answer has been one of the most unique ones. We got a lot of great answers on collaboration, and that's been a big deal for us in this series. But your answer, respect, was the most unique that we've had. I've not heard that, and I truly respect that answer, because that does give you the ability to be open to collaboration, to be open-minded to it, to think that, hey, you know, somebody else might have a great idea here, and who knows, it could be better than ours or better than yours if you're, you know, talking to your producer or songwriter as it is. And I love that answer, man. Jerry, that was great. Let's talk about Carefree State of Mind. What's your thoughts on Carefree State of Mind? Did you have a good time with that?
Yeah, it's a good tune. I mean, it's, you know, it's carefree. What can you not? I mean, it describes, you know, what's going on here in this town. You know, truth be told, I love it up here. It's a wonderful town, good people, and it is different. You know, I live in Central Phoenix, and it's different when you ride up to Carefree, and
Sure.
it is a state of being up here that's a little bit different. And I enjoy it. Yeah.
It truly is. Jerry, is there anything that you want to add, maybe to your listeners or to horn players or to session players, that could be great advice for them?
Yeah, just learn all you can about music so you can converse with guys on a musical level. It really helps be able to read and write music, so you tell them what you can see what's going on. And again, to get back to the thing, be open, accept all styles of music, all people's ideas, because you never know, you might hit something. I mean, if someone would have told me 15 years ago I was going to be playing a lot of country western, I would have laughed at them. And it's a great thing of music. And then, you know, playing a bunch of blues with guys like Chuck, it's like, wow, it comes back to that old thing, man. There's two kinds of music, good and bad. And, you know, you play music and embrace all the styles and have fun with it, go with it.
You know, if somebody asks me, you know, Darryl, what's your favorite music to listen to? And I stop for a second, I think about it, and I say, anything good.
Yep, that's it.
I like anything good.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, well, the two things that really hit on me today with you to hear today, Jerry, is flexible and respect. And I really want to thank you for coming down and staying flexible. And I respect you for it. And they were incredible sessions, and I hope to work with you many, many more times. So God willing, that we'll have another chance to do that.
We will, for sure.
That's all the time that we have today. Thank you again for joining us in the yard. We've had, of course, the pleasure of speaking with session player Jerry Donato. So from all of us at the Big Yard Nation, We hope that you're out there getting to wherever it is that you're getting to, that all your dreams come true. So visit us at bigyardnation.com. Join us in the yard. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. And don't forget to like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That really helps. So thank you so much. And until next time, this is Darryl Scotti, your host. May God bless you and keep you safe. And we're out from the nation. Peace.